This is, but this is how it starts. You try to get the stage set. You've worked with animals forever and try to
it
get
ain't
them
the
in
same. It's
cages and in
two-legged
position.
wildlife, brother.
Now you've got your two here.
I know.
It's
God
a
love
special Father's
Can I
Day
be a
edition.
skunk?
Yes, you can do whatever you want.
can
It's
be
a
a
special
skunk.
Father's Day edition of the Mike and the Mountain, and we thought that it would only be fitting that Scott brings in his critters. He is the critter getter of northern Colorado, and a couple of critters that he caught these two. Why don't you introduce us to the lovelies on your lap, Scott?
Absolutely. This is my baby girl. What's your name?
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah. How do you spell that?
E-L-I-A.
Say that again closer to the mic because everybody messes.
E-L-I-A!
Very good.
don't
That's
yell,
good.
don't yell.
Yes. That's good. No, we bet.
This is my son, my pride and joy, my legacy. His name is
Elijah.
You guys
Elijah.
realize that there's really no hope for you growing up with him as your father, right?
I've been saying that since I was 2.
Here's your sign.
Leah, do you feel the same way?
What?
Do you feel there's any hope for you with him as
Sorry,
your dad?
I just spaced out for a minute.
See, and that's what your dad does all the
Yeah.
time.
No,
Does he make you guys know? As you're the kids of the critter getter of northern Colorado, which would probably be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But does he make you do weird things that other kids don't have to do?
He gives us the option. Like he doesn't like make us do anything. Like I like his job and I like how he does it. I'm not really like a big wildlife guy. Like I like nature, but like I don't really like
Holding snakes and chasing
holding
raccoons.
snakes and stuff like that. But he gives us the option. He doesn't like make us do it. He's just like, hey, do you guys want to hold this snake, or like, hey, do you want to see this baby and mama raccoon, which we saw the other day that he relocated on like a river. They were like the cutest thing ever.
No, what I saw, and because I've kind of taken over your job somewhat, buddy, is filming your dad. And I saw some of your camera work one time when he went into a backyard to get a couple of raccoons. And while you're filming, I believe one of them shot through your legs. Did that happen?
Yes, it did. And I was petrified.
I understand
Not even
that.
joking.
No,
Like
it
I
shows
was
in the
worried.
video.
How much therapy have you had to go through to get over that, buddy?
Oh man, you don't know.
And Leah, I saw you just the other day. We were out front, and your dad said, "Will you run over and look for a garter snake over here for me?" And you didn't see one, but you have no problem looking for snakes, do you?
No.
No, not at all.
I
That's
do.
it. You do, and that's not your thing.
No, it's
All
not.
right.
It's
What
not
I'm
my thing.
finding out as I've sat and visited with you guys
Yeah.
is she's a lot more like her dad when it comes out to it, and you're more of a wuss like I am.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
There we go. That's how we do it.
That's how we roll,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, just know if he's ever got you on the edge, you know, where it's like, this isn't something that I really want to do. I need to call and talk to somebody about it. Call Brian. Okay.
Call Uncle B.
Call Uncle B. I got your back. I understand what it's like to hang with him because I need more therapy than I did before. And I've only been with him for a couple of years, but I know I'm screwed. You guys, you're in it. So just know my
I've been
prayers.
with him for almost 12 years now.
Well, I know.
I mean, you're telling me.
They're lifers.
My prayers are with both of you. And also, I need to say that Aaliyah has stolen my motorcycle.
Oh,
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
You now own my motorcycle,
yes,
right?
she does.
Did you bring it?
I did not. It's at home getting waxed for you one more time.
I am going to put caution tape around it.
I know you are, and it will be yours. But why don't you wish your dad a happy Father's Day before I take him? And I'm going to tell some stories.
Thanks, buddy.
Happy
you.
Father's Day.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for hanging out on the podcast with us. You know you're going to be back because
yeah.
I have a feeling you and I could just rip for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I've already
I got
felt
it.
danger when we're together. So that's it. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us for the Father's Day edition.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. All right,
Love
go,
ya.
go to
Thanks,
your room.
baby. Go to your
That's
room.
Those guys are great, and I do. Your son would
Go all the way up.
Yeah, you could go all the way up, all the way up to the sixth floor,
Sixth
up
floor.
to the terrace on top of
Because
the.
otherwise, this guy.
Yes, he'll be sitting there going, I can still hear them. That's it. But you're in a home with children. Believe me, you never quit hearing them.
No,
We're always
man. No, you don't.
No, and
it doesn't end, right? Because, I mean, you still have a daughter at home.
I do with
grandkids.
grandchildren, and let me say, my mother was one who would never completely fall asleep until she heard both kids come through the door. You know, she would sleep. There was one eye open, one ear there, until she heard that second entry. Because I was always a second entry. It was me and my brother, and believe me, I was the last one in. But you know, Mom would hear that, and then finally get to fall asleep once I was home safely at 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
You know.
And with boys, you got every right to worry as a mother. And mothers worry a lot more than fathers. I mean, as a dad, I think you could speak for this. I mean,
no, I have a daughter. I'm scared all the time still. Scott,
Really?
you're screwed. No,
Really?
you are starting a life of fear. How old is Aaliyah?
she's 9 going on 24.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
No, you.
Yeah, I've changed their names.
What are you have?
I've changed it.
Okay,
It's-
we just met them.
We
What
just
have you
met
changed it?
Elijah
Yeah.
and Aaliyah,
Yeah.
and I want to make sure that we introduce Google and Emo.
Google and
Google and Emo.
That's it.
Because
No,
he knows everything.
That's what he's reached that age.
And Aaliyah's going to cry about everything.
That's.
I don't
Those
know
are
what to do.
Perfect name.
I don't know what to do.
And you're right. Now he's what? He's 12.
He's 12.
Okay, yeah, that is the age when suddenly parents have lost all knowledge of anything
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Right.
No, and you're in for that. So whenever I see my dad, still to this day, Dad just turned 80 in this last year, and still the first thing I say whenever I see Dad is, "I'm sorry." You know,
Right.
because
Hey, he chose this.
yeah,
He chose this.
he admitted he was my father from the get-go.
All right.
Yeah, the bloodline showed it. The DNA test as often as he tried. The amount of vacations
love
where he
him.
accidentally left me at
Hey,
Stuckey's.
they-
You know, those... You know, I eventually found
my
him.
gosh,
You
man.
know, that's it. But we're going to get into that in a minute, as it is a special Father's Day edition, as Father's Day coming up on the 21st. But I'm, last time we got together, I was a little pissed off.
Yeah.
I think I
You
mentioned
were a
it
little-
8
you
to
were a
12
little pissed
times.
off. Yeah.
And I'm still carrying that pissed offness. And let me explain why. All right, number one, we're several minutes into this podcast already, and you have not once mentioned that I got a haircut.
Brian.
I'm sorry. No, look, honey. We've been together a while, and if
Really?
you can't notice, I don't do these things
Right.
just for me. All right, this is for us.
but Brian.
and no, don't butt Brian me again, Scott. That's
What the hell a minute? Where is this going, man? Wait a minute. I
you
thought we
need
was
to
talking
start
about a
paying
firecracker,
attention
not
to
your
me.
hair job.
That's what we're starting with. That.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, how can we go into the rest of me if you don't
Did you
notice
get
the
a
top of
haircut?
me? Yes, I did, Scott. Thank you for
man,
noticing.
You look great, dude.
That's
It looks
Yeah,
good.
Thanks.
Yeah, which one?
It was just one over here, but
Okay,
that's
all
it.
right.
All right, so
Great.
I wanted to get that out.
I'm glad you
okay?
did. And do you feel better from that?
Well, I had to milk you for it, and
Well,
believe me, I never wanted to milk Scott. That was milk me. No,
I can
no,
I
James,
can
where's
help
the
you.
button?
I
Where's
can
the
help
button?
you.
I've lost it, guys.
Yeah, that's it. I also need to talk about Operation Firecracker.
Yes, now wait a minute. I'm sensing some serious frustration here. The pin throw down, the elbow cut to the hand. Operation Firecracker. What the hell? This
know-
was a joyous thing.
No, this is the pose anybody takes when they're with you. You don't know the hell I go
Oh,
through, brother. No,
well,
that's
okay.
it. No, I
You're here.
am upset.
You are.
I'm upset. Okay. Operation Firecracker going to lose 20 pounds by the 4th of July.
Okay.
All right. Started out gangbusters, 3 pounds, 4 days. You know, right on. Okay. And then I ran into a dude. His last name is Morgan. His first name was Captain. And I had no idea. I had not set sail with Captain Morgan
right.
for
He'll
probably
take you there.
15 to 20 years. And I had no idea that jumping on the boat with the captain led to tacos. And that's somehow
The captain loves
he
tacos,
set
man.
sail for the border and said, "Boy, don't you know after 3 or 4 of these you need a quesadilla?" And who am I to argue with the captain? You know what I mean? Next thing you know, I find myself face first with a steak and cheese quesadilla. I tried to fight its allure. I said, no. You go back, cheesy quesadilla.
Captain's on this shoulder.
Have you not heard of Operation Firecracker? Then the captain, like the conscience in Animal House, was sitting on my shoulder going,
Tacos.
eat it. So, a couple of steak quesadillas later, because they come in pairs.
Oh, well,
Have
everything's
you
got to
ever
be in a
seen
pair.
a solo? No, they travel in packs.
Yes, absolutely
They travel
they
in
do.
twos. If you've never seen a quesadilla alone, there's always two of them. But if you've ever wondered if rum is the gateway to tacos or quesadillas, yes, it is. So between that damn Captain Morgan and that little whore, Little Debbie,
Little
and
Debbie.
her responsibly priced snack cakes,
She is very
they're
responsibly
under $2
priced.
for a full box.
I mean, you can't even blow your whole paycheck on that.
No, you can't. Try as I might.
Yeah, right, yes.
They're too affordable.
Absolutely.
So
they are.
Little Debbie and Captain Morgan,
And
you
Taco
two are
Bell.
and no, it wasn't even the bell.
It wasn't even the
No,
bell.
we went better than that.
John's.
No, I actually
No.
I found myself face first in a Fuzzy's quesadilla.
Wait a minute. What? Wait. Okay, back up. In a what? And you wait.
You ended up in a lot of places.
Don't you red button me?
Never in a fuzzy
Fuzzy
quesadilla.
quesadilla?
Sounds wrong, but so delicious.
Yes.
It really was.
Yes.
All right, so I did that. And so needless to say, I haven't hit the scale for a couple days.
Okay,
Because I know
yeah.
what happened on that vessel. But I didn't just sit on my butt this last weekend, Scott. I did not. I don't know what's so damn funny with you. But I did not just sit on my butt. No, you're saying, Brian, what else did you do?
I did say, Brian, what else did you
Well,
do?
Scott, I'm going to tell you what else I did. I sat there on my deck and watched my wife try to pry apart some garden boxes out of the yard. Well, after a good half hour of this frivolity, I realized I ought to help. So,
What the hell is in this?
I don't know. So I wander over to where my wife was toiling with the garden boxes, trying to disassemble them and get them out of the ground. Well, I said, I can get that out. And I went down there and I reached underneath it and I lifted it and heaved it in one.
And you
Just
didn't blow a
look-
Hemi.
I lifted, no, I stood there in victory. This is my garden box. As I stood
captain.
there, and she said, we need to take it apart. I said, the hell we do, it will break.
No.
And I smashed it
did
and took
not.
it into pieces, and I stood there in victory.
You
And
animal.
Oh, and I'm set. I said, see what happens when I hang around with Scott? I said, I have become a man.
No wonder why she allows you to come play with me every day.
30 years with Todd behind a microphone, I was
you, Todd.
pussified. From that, I stepped outdoors and now can smash garden boxes in one heave. Oh, the testosterone was flowing. I thought I looked so attractive. She was just happy to have that box gone.
Right,
but
right,
that's,
right.
you know, so I did exercise a little because I'm trying to get smaller because I know one day I'm going to die and my friends are going to have to carry my body. And just out of respect for my future pallbearers, I am
Dude,
trying
God
to
love you.
create a lighter corpse.
God love you.
All
man.
right, and I do this because have you ever been a pallbearer at a funeral?
No.
I was. A few years ago, tragically, a buddy of mine who I went on one of these rides out to Topeka, Kansas with, had passed away. He got killed in a motorcycle accident, and me and a bunch of buddies were his pallbearers. We loved Bob. He was
Bob?
Bob was his. He was a
I
dear
thought his
friend.
name was Paul.
Oh no, pallbearer. We were pallbearers for Bob. All right, so we're
I
hauling-
get it.
we're
I was thinking
carrying
I've
Bob.
never carried a Paul.
No, and we're all lifting this casket, and it is so heavy. And we're carrying it, and I'm only thinking Bob was a little guy. I can imagine
Right?
how heavy mine would be. As we're carrying it, we lifted, and my buddy Kenny says, good Lord, did Bob get buried on his bike? And we thought Harley was in there.
Sure.
So I'm doing this again for my future ballplayers. This is another reason I'm trying to not take that rum road to Quesadillaville.
No, and I tried to think. I don't know that I have too many people that I know named Paul that have passed away.
That's okay.
But I get where you're going.
Think about that.
I'm with you.
Think about
I'm with
that.
you. I was.
But you know, I dove off the subject a bit. It is Father's Day coming up.
That's where we were.
That's where we were going. But you know, my dad, as I said, I always start with an apology for him because growing up, I was destined to be what I am.
Yes,
we'll just
you
say
were.
that. And
I've
all
heard a
the-
few stories.
All the
But let's talk
broken
about that.
roads that went there. Well, my dad and I had our own chairs in the principal's office. I swear to God, it's true. It had our names on the back like we were directors of a movie because we were in there so often. I met my wife in in-school suspension.
No way.
Which they used to do to us where if you got caught skipping out enough,
Right. Oh, yeah.
they made you sit in school in a room outside of class.
I was there a lot.
I was too.
Yeah, I was there a lot.
And I was a regular. I had all my comic books. I had these Freak Brothers comic books and
Right.
these kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
Well, all of a sudden this cute girl wanders in who later becomes my wife.
Dude,
But she's in there for the
what
first
a love
time.
story, man.
She was in there
What
for
a
the
love
first
story.
time, and I said, well, let me show you the ropes.
Yeah.
You know, here's a couple of comic books.
Right.
This is how we
No
pass the
way,
time.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, that is
was
so
it.
cool, man.
Oh.
Seriously, I didn't know that.
Just so if you ever get sent to in-school suspension, it could lead you to the love of your life.
I love it. So, kids, this is a note. Stay good, because they're in the classrooms too. Okay?
Absolutely.
Stay good. And I will, Elijah, Leah, if you guys are watching this, I will bust you better. I'm telling you right now, you don't listen to anything this joker's talking about right now. It's not ever going to make sense to you because you got to come home to me. Happy Father's Day.
There you go. Get that out. Absolutely.
Sorry.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. We're having fun now.
Yes, we are. Happy Father's Day, Brian.
But, and to you too, brother,
Thanks,
and
man.
again to my dad, I'm going to continue with some apologies. I'd like to apologize for what happened with the wrestling coach in junior high school when Mr. Dunn, who had a bionic finger, he could push you against the wall and poke you with your finger, and you'd swear it was going right through your chest.
No way.
He had this.
Is that like corporal punishment?
Kind of. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I used to get that a lot.
Yeah,
too,
I did too.
but yeah,
That's the only reason why I
absolutely.
bring it up.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a corporal was. I thought that was something in the military, but the punishment side, yeah, the paddle holes in it.
He came and pulled me out of another teacher's classroom to drag me out into the hallway and finger pushed me up against the lockers.
Oh, yeah.
And he poked me into there and he said, Brian, you're the biggest smartass I've ever had in my class. And I said, well, thank you, Mr. Dunn. I have always tried to be the best at what I do.
Yes, you
And
did. Yes, you did. I'm sure
which
you
led
did.
to another
I'm
trip
sure you
to the
did.
assigned seating in the principal's office with my dad. I would also,
Oh, my gosh.
at this point, like to apologize to my father and who was my principal back then, Mr. Englehart, who forced me with a toothbrush to scrub the gym floor.
Get out of here.
hands and
what's
knees on a
happening to
toothbrush.
Why are we doing that nowadays, man?
Well, it really taught me a lesson because
Well, no,
I
I
sure
know.
straight up
But it
after
sure
that.
made the adults feel good.
It made the gym floor look good.
It sure
That's all
did,
it
man.
did.
Sure did.
But Dad, I thank you for many things. I thank you for teaching me that if your field is plagued with gophers, back in Minnesota growing up, which we had a vacant lot next to us, which was covered in gophers.
And that was before Tannerite.
Yeah, and he
Okay.
kept tripping in the holes. So he said, son, I'm putting a hose in this end of the hole, and I want you to wait at the other end of the hole. And I learned how to play whack-a-mole in real life. That was it. So, Dad, I thank you for that because it led me to so many great prizes at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes,
really
it did. Yes, it did.
And, Dad, I thank you for teaching me that you can light a fart. These...
No, wait a minute.
Oh,
Wait a
yes.
minute.
Oh, absolutely.
Was it? Didn't they have that on a Jackass show? Wasn't that on one
Oh
of the-
yeah. Dad did it well before Johnny Knoxville. I'll tell you that.
God,
It
no
was one of my
kidding.
earliest memories is coming up from the basement, and seeing my dad in a reverse bicycle position with his shoulders on the ground, his ass in the air, and his friend Jim with a Bic lighter to my dad's pants and lighting a fart, and my dad's pants starting on fire. And that's where I learned to stop, drop, and roll. It was during a pant fire with an accelerant that expelled from my dad. You know,
I was wondering, is that where you were introduced to the captain?
Yeah, no,
I just,
this was pre-captain.
Pre-captain, okay,
was.
all right.
But that was, Dad lighting. I had no idea that could be done, but I learned at an early age. I also learned to duck for mailboxes. My dad, this might go back to this might
man,
go
this
back
is
to
taking
Captain
us
Morgan.
whole next level here, man.
It is, but this could have been Captain Morgan induced, although I believe it was pre-Captain's invention. Dad had been in the basement having a few adult beverages with
Silver
his buddies.
bullets?
Yes, we'll go with that.
Silver
And his friends were taking off to leave down the road outside of our house. Dad thought it would be funny to get on all fours like a dog and take off chasing the car in the ditch, which Dad did until he hit his head on a mailbox and got knocked out cold.
Are you kidding me?
No. And all growing up, we had a picture of Snoopy in a mailbox sitting downstairs, and it was to commemorate my dad's head injury for running headfirst into a mailbox pole.
Knowing you and hearing these stories, I can't really believe he's no longer addicted to alcohol, right? I mean,
Addicted? No, it's for pure
because
pleasure.
You moved out.
Yeah, that's
You
it was
moved
a
out.
necessity
so
before.
parents out there listening, there's several messages we want to send home today. We feel your pain. We need a crutch. As parents, it is not easy. Sorry.
No.
Brought to you by Captain Morgan.
I'll leave you with two sweet stories.
Let's do that.
All right, we've taken the
off
other
the
way.
deep.
My son, when he was probably 5 or 6 years old, we're sitting outside and we're looking up at the sky, and airplanes had just gone past and they left their trail. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And my son looks up and he says, "Dad, somebody scratched the sky." And to this day, it gets me a little bit now. To this day, I can drive down the street, and if I see an airplane trail in the sky, I say, "Look, someone scratched the sky." And it takes me to my innocent little boy sitting beside me.
Seriously.
And that's the beauty of a child. We are so blessed to be fathers. If you are a father, you have been given the greatest gift you can have, is that, because kids give you things like that you don't even ask for, that stick with you forever. My grandson Xander has done it to me a couple times. He had been really sick, and I said, "Xander, I'm sorry you're feeling bad." He said, "You know what's good about feeling bad? How cool it feels when it's done."
Oh, that's heavy, man, from the mouths of babes.
And it was so heavy, but it's so fitting in so many things in life. You know?
Yes, absolutely, man.
And my favorite that sticks with me, and again, this is from my grandson Xander. I'm lucky enough to have 4 grandkids, Nixon and Kersey and Zayden and Xander. Xander is my oldest. He's 10 years old. But when he was very little, it'd be, bedtime. And I'd say, "Good night, Xander, I love you." He says, "I love you more." I said, "No, I love you more." He said, "Well, I love you 27.
27.
And I said, 27? Why 27? He said, "I was trying to think of a number that was so big you couldn't match it."
No way.
And to this day, when he goes to bed, I say, "I love you, Xander." And he says, "I love you 27.
Man, bro.
And that just hits
Love you
again
27.
the gift of these kids. So to all dads out there, I just want to say Happy Father's Day. And and don't ever forget the blessing you've been given and the opportunity that you have to be Superman. Because every dad can look down at their kid, and that kid just looks up at you, and whether you want to be or not, you are a superhero to that child when they're born. You are a superhero, and it's up to you whether you keep the cape or not with your actions.
That's right.
But you are given the opportunity to be a superhero, and don't ever let that go, because what a cool place that is to be. So I just, Dad, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to point out, this is an odd transition into something, but Scott and I get to go out, and we get to meet a lot of people on this job.
Wait. What is an odd transition into anything with you and I?
That's a really good point.
I mean, seriously.
Here's a normal
If
transition
you
for
haven't
you.
figured that out yet,
If your neck doesn't hurt from the different directions we take
Right.
you, there's something wrong. The airbags go on
I can't
every
keep up.
podcast.
You can't keep up.
Right, but we get to meet a lot of people, a lot of wonderful people on this job. We get to go to people's homes to try to solve problems or to try to give them information or education. We also get to see families. And I want to point out one, this one just really stuck with me because right now we're seeing a lot of bat issues.
Oh, yes, we are.
Bats are coming out big time right now. I would say, honestly, Scott, wouldn't you say that probably 70% of the calls that have been coming in have been something to do with a bat?
This year, this year, man, we're inundated with them.
What's so unusual about this year?
That's
by
a
the
great
way?
question. I mean, everybody's noticing all the millers, but that isn't going to affect the population right now that we have. Generally speaking, man, Colorado doesn't. Most Coloradans don't think we have bats.
You know, I've heard that from people
don't
when
think
I
we have
said
bats.
we're out on a bat job.
They're like,
we have bats?
yeah, no, we get that all the time, man, and we have a lot more bats than anybody knows.
Are there a lot of species of bats around here?
There's not. We got a couple of them here in northern Colorado. The two we deal with more commonly than not is the big brown bat and the little brown bat. They really went all out to scientifically name them.
How long of a process did that take?
I mean, they should have asked me. I would have accepted the revenue off of that because that's totally something I'd pull out. What you have here is the big brown bat, which is that big, and the little brown bat, which is that big.
That's it.
Yeah.
Not a lot of difference.
And not a lot of difference. No, it's the brown bat.
No, but people are getting inundated with them right now, and I'm going to lead into this with the Father's Day thing too. But this is not an animal you should approach, is it? Because I know as a kid, my memories, I hadn't seen bats for years. When we were kids in North Dakota, you would find them on the ground. We called them sail bats.
That's right.
One that had been there a while, and
tell
they'd
me
been there
about
so
that.
long
That
that,
is
you could
good.
pick them up and just sail them.
Yeah, like a frisbee.
You know, you'd throw them like a frisbee. They'd been there so long, but we had so many bats back then, I never.
Right.
But then moved away, never saw any more until coming out here. These are not animals you should get close to, though, are they?
No, they're not. And I want to ask you, how many times have you heard people talking about bats prior to coming on with me?
Oh,
I mean, had you?
No.
I mean, you don't.
No, I had never heard anybody talk about
No,
it.
it's.
That's why I didn't know we had them until I came in with you.
No, absolutely. And we get the bat calls. There's a bat on the ground, or we hear something in our attic, or we see them coming in and out of our attic, or a pedestal on the front porch, or I mean, they're all over the place. Typically, they do not want anything to do with you. It's wildlife. They want to stay away from you. You're a predator to them. But those ones that we do find that are hanging out in the open in the middle of the day, yeah, there's something wrong. Don't touch it. I've had scenarios, man, where people have called me up and the gal, God love her, said she woke up and the bat was on her pillow right beside her and she thought it was so cute, fuzzy, and she wrapped it in a towel and she took it outside and let it go. What people don't understand is a bat is capable of scratching you or doing anything like that in the middle of the night. And if it draws the micro speck of blood on your hand or your leg that you will never know about, they just infected you with rabies. Now, rabies is serious. It's zoonotics. I don't like to scare people with this. I don't like to use this tactic. There's some companies out there that do use the scare tactic to get that revenue. I don't need your revenue. I need to educate you on what to do so that you can take care of it yourself. I'm tired. I'm tired, man.
I've been walking all day.
I've been walking all day. Here's to you, Thurgood.
Exactly.
But no, we got to beware. It's wildlife. If you see something that is out of the ordinary, trust your gut. It is out of the ordinary for a reason. Something's wrong.
Well, take a look around, too, because what I've noticed, bat droppings, guano, you can really get confused with mouse droppings.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of people who will think, oh, I have mice. But when you look up, you see something different.
There again, look up.
Look up.
Look up, man. I'm preaching that all the time, and I fall short here at home. Look up. Look at your soffit vents, your attic vents. Look at your shingles. Look at under these eaves, these dormers. Pay attention. Start doing it once a week. Pay attention to your house. What's going on?
I would love to know if you're listening to this in the comment section below, because we really want to know where bats are populating and where they might be. If you've seen bats this year, let us know. Say, yes, I've seen them, and where. You
Absolutely.
know, what city you live in, or maybe what part of that city. We would love to know, because it really helps us with information too, of knowing where these colonies are.
Yeah, it does. And listen, we're an outlet. We're the hands on the ground, if you will, the feet on the ground for Colorado Parks and Wildlife Services. We're watching. We're with my knowledge and understanding and education. There's things I'm watching for, and one of them is called the white nose syndrome. These bats are actually carrying a disease that's killing them. It's devastating the bat population. The East Coast is absolutely gone. They're gone. This white nose syndrome, and it was brought in from cave divers that like to do this cave spelunking. Now, I heard spelunking, and I thought, wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't go there. That was the sound of the bat. That's what I do when I fish. That's the sound of my cast going, it's splunk. Yeah, exactly.
But no, they brought it
Or
back
after a few quesadillas, it made that noise.
at Fuzzy's. Say that one more time. It was
Fuzzy quesadilla.
You went face first.
Yeah,
into
exactly.
fuzzy.
But anyway, if you see bats, let us
Yes,
know.
sorry,
There's
bats. Yeah. What? The zoonotic white nose syndrome. We're the eyes on the ground. We're not just helping you with your problem, but man, we're documenting. We're using it to educate. We're taking that forth to the division and the biologists that I'm in contact with to make sure that everything's staying where it needs to stay. Because I know we're caught up in this world with everything going on right now, man.
No question.
I mean, brother, I can't even watch the news. I can't. I just one news says one thing, the other says another thing. Listen, my love, my drive is wildlife. Man, that's it. That's all I got room for. I can't do it all. And that's something you brothers have been preaching to me, man. Folks are calling in all the time, and it's going to the voicemail or it's going to the website. I apologize. Man, I'm sorry. I am
there
one
are
brother.
so many calls that are coming in
my
right
golly.
now, which
Oh,
is,
my golly.
I love this idea, which we encountered when we were visiting a family who had a bit of a bat infestation, was how the dad, and this is a great tie-in with Father's Day, got the whole
Father's
family
Day, that's
involved
right.
in this. We were wanting to know, how many bats are you seeing? Because we're trying to figure out if it was a bachelor or a nursery colony.
Correct.
All right, so
You're learning well.
I know
Proud
I
of
am.
you, young Danielson.
But Scott had asked this gentleman to sit out and keep track of the bats. So what did he do? He had his whole family sit in front of the house.
They were sitting out there with beers and lawn
Yeah,
chairs.
they partied out in the front yard. Him and he's got 2 teenage kids,
Right.
and his wife, and they sat there and they counted how many bats were coming out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then
Yeah.
giving us a report on that. But here's a great way that here a dad made a situation that might freak a family out. He got the whole family involved, made
He
it a
did. The
deal,
kids
and
never
said-
showed up, but he had beer in his life. Happy Father's Day.
But we did see the
That's
kids,
what
and
dude.
they were
Remember
right
dude?
in on it too, which made, that's great stuff. And to me, that was a cool dad.
Oh, yeah.
I really
Absolutely.
got off on that. So no matter what your situation, you can find ways to get your family involved. You can do things, whether it's counting bats outside of your house or whatever it is. Get outside, get out there with those kids, make some memories, do something. Kids don't need more material things. They need more time with you. And for Father's Day, there is nothing more rewarding than actually spending some time with the kids and talking to them.
Absolutely.
Get to know each other a little bit. So, Dad, happy Father's Day to you, to my children. Thank you for the greatest gift ever, and that is making me a father. And the greatest gift that continues giving is making me a grandfather. So your day will come, brother. I know you're a ways off, but I've visited with your elder son, and he's on an advanced path.
Yes,
so
he
I'm
is.
telling you, let me say this from the bottom of my parental heart: you are screwed, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
And you're
I
welcome.
take that personally.
It's what brothers do.
Yes, it's what
That's
brothers
it.
do.
Hey, thanks again for checking us
Happy
out.
Father's Day.
It's the Mike.
And the mountain.
Thanks for joining us.
Bam. Bam. How'd that go, Jay? Sorry, man. I gotta get back to my granola before it gets
That was
squishy.
fantastic.